What's good, family? Peace and black power. What up? It's your brother Google. Now you see RANM. So another episode of RANM RBGz TV. You already know I keeps it G. As you can see, I'm on the move. About to head over to the, you know what I'm saying, Roosevelt Public Library. I told you I'd come through, man. Once again, shout out to African Unification, man. You know what I'm saying? They came to the hood. They showed, you know what I'm saying? They about to show love, so showing love back. But anyway, come through 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Roosevelt, Long Island. But anyway, in the meantime, between times cold as shit. But I'm about to be on my way over there as soon as this bus get here. So y'all stay tuned. Peace, love, and black power, man. Like love is kill for the black nation. So let's get it. Stay tuned. Dig it. What up? And Google, now you see RANM here. RANM RBGz TV. You see I got the homie always riding with me. Now, say what up to the homies.
Yo, what up, people?
We out here, man. What that say? Roosevelt Public Library,
We're
right?
here for the African Unification thing. They go around waking up the people.
You know what I mean? We out here. Folks said they coming through. We out here. Told you RANM RBGz out here. We out here. Trying to link up with the family, man. Stalk the hood, nonetheless. But at the end of the day, tell me what you looking for, man. Tell me what you expecting out of all of this, man. What's your expectation, I should say? What's up, my brother? Peace. All right.
Probably a few shocked faces when they see what they're gonna see.
Mm-hmm.
People probably gonna go home like, damn. That's what
I mean, honestly, like I was telling you before, I was telling the wife when we was chopping it up, whatever. It's like this is good for the hood because, as you already know the conditions of Roosevelt as it is. We live out here. This the hood. This is our turf, nonetheless. But at the end of the day, something like this.
Every black community is the same.
Right. But we talking on a personal. We talking on a personal. This is us right here.
Yeah.
This is good for us. You feel me? Because it's the initial jump start. You know what I'm saying? It's a spark. It ain't gonna give you the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole plate of food right there and there. It's just gonna warm it up for you just so you can see what it look like. Yeah. See if you wanna eat it, you know what I'm saying? Metaphorically speaking, of course, family. But nonetheless, like I said, we out here, we gonna see, try to make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to get as much footage as I possibly can. And, you know what I'm saying, God willing, answer to willing, the folks wanna talk. I'm trying to get a little feedback from folks while we out here as well. But in the meantime, between time, man, keep it G, keep it locked right here. This is RANM RBGz TV. Peace and black power. Alright. How y'all doing? Good evening. All right. Hello. Let's go read the wall. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Got the keys to the kingdom?
See, we out here, man. All right.
You have the keys. Are you familiar with the keys?
No artwork. Ain't nothing tough. I'll get hot about the picture. Told you, man. When I say I'm gonna come through, I'm coming through. Oh, she just working. All right. I'm about to say. Hell no. Look, Phil, we almost had a little complication, but everything is all good.
I had to ask, hold on now, because I'm like,
stay tuned.
Yo, you want?
I'm Brother Dr. Shabazz from Nassau Community College, and I was asked to come and say a few words as we prepare to watch Hidden Colors Part 2 tonight, as well as facilitate any type of reasoning we might want to have after the viewing. You know, so last Thursday we had a lovely viewing and spoke some reasoning about the film, and we had a pretty nice turnout, but it's, I think, filling up a little more strength tonight. Yeah, so give thanks for coming, and we intend to have another viewing of Part 3, not next Thursday, but the last Thursday of February. All right. Has anyone seen Hidden Colors before?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So many of you know what it's all about, and how profound the documentary is. It's really one of the best documentaries I think that has ever been put out to not only detail, you know, the legacy of our people, going as far black as to creation. You know?
That's right.
And even examining and claiming the anthropological, archaeological, what I really consider the evolutionary theories regarding our origin. But even, you know, King Cullis and the professors and scholars, some of my colleagues that really stand firm in that, you know, they even came hold to Darwinism and established even if there was some kind of evolution in the human dynamic, the African is the foundation of the human origin, human being. You know, that's a little different in perspective from how I, in particular, view our origins. You know, and maybe as we give a little introduction tonight, you know, I can maybe even review some of the things that I said about our origins and from our own ancient African perspective, as well as touch on perhaps some of the dynamic in terms of false identity that we suffer from as a people in our present time, which makes many of these seats, you know, really go unfilled tonight, when such an important documentary should fill the seats and really be overflowing in a community like Roosevelt. You follow me?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me all right? Hear me all right, brother? Yes, I. Because the more I use this microphone all the time, and man, I'm kind of like a humble professor, but he's making me do it. He's making me do it. I don't want to boss, but make me, man, it's commander, you know? So I try to speak. But even when I use it, I gotta turn it on. Even when I use it, I try to come down here with it, but then he puts the mic all the way up here, so that doesn't even work. So let me just try to. Is that all right? Thank you. Give thanks.
I like to hear you, brother. I'm way up here.
I hear you. Okay. I hear you. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, you know, the documentary even claims and reclaims the anthropological, archaeological foundation of the black people, African heritage. And I have a PhD in African American Studies from Temple University in Philadelphia. I was really blessed to be the youngest graduate student when that program began. It was the first PhD program in the world that studied African American Studies. And to my surprise, you know, I was very young and green and naive, and even the first night of the seminar, I was the youngest person in class, and my notebook was filled with all the books that I had to really rush to read, because all I had read maybe was Malcolm X at the time, you know. But in the program, they had a class that studied the whole idea of African prehistory, and the idea that we as human beings evolve out of the primate. And you know, many of our scholars have taken into that dynamic. So even in the graduate program in African Studies, you know, because our thing as African people, when you look at it from our own tradition, is spiritual origin. We have a divine origin from where we come from in terms of our own perspective on the question. But even in this graduate program, we had some introduction to the archaeological, anthropological origins and questions of the evolution or evolution of the African out of the primate. And in truth, scientifically, when you really deal with it and really deal with the longevity of what that theory projects, you know, what I teach on a semester basis is the idea that out of a culture's cosmology comes their social values. Or, a cosmology is how a culture views the nature of the universe and the nature of the peopling of the universe. And so in this idea of the evolution of the African out of the primate is the idea that the African is the uncivilized first being, and that as species evolve, in terms of what social Darwinism teaches, as species evolve, innately they become more intelligent and intellectual. So, Darwinism and social Darwinism and evolution theory and this whole science of archaeology, it was really founded on a hoax in the beginning of the 20th century. That's most people don't consider that from 1913 or 1912 to 1953, the archaeologists, the leading archaeologists in the earth, they suggested that the missing link, the first proto-hominid, the first link between the primate and the first man, in the early part of the 20th century, you think that they wanted to say that it came from Africa? No, they didn't want to say that. They didn't want to say that. But they were trying to prove Darwin's theory. Darwin's theory was a 1850s type of theory that really manifested out of a need that came forth when Napoleon stumbled upon ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, which was rightly called ancient Kemet, but what the Western world knows as Egypt today. Yeah, when Napoleon, in the end of the 18th century, when he stumbled upon ancient Kemet or Egypt and the sands and the pyramid that was covered almost to the tip, and the Heru Emenketi, otherwise known as the Sphinx, he was up to his neck. When the French, under Napoleon's army, when they came into contact with this African greatness and all these temples and monolithic figures and all this megalithic things here, I mean, it blew their mind. It blew their mind because at the same time the French were subjecting Africans to the worst subhuman mistreatment under the enslavement of our ancestors in the Caribbean. And so at that moment, the white man was put in a valley of decision. Should I let the world know? And if I let the world know, what's this going to mean to this empire that I never planned to give up? You see, we kind of sit around and think that we are products of something that was just meant to happen in Western Hemisphere. We're supposed to still be cutting some sugarcane someplace. We're supposed to still be being abused. Our women are still supposed to be, in a position of yeah, we're supposed to still, we're not supposed to be thinking in even these kind of dynamics where we gather as a people, according to their agenda when they brought us here. You know what I mean? And so, when Napoleon came upon this created a whole new need to either accept that as the truth and reveal it, or to really reconstruct a new paradigm. You see, because they were, at that time, in the 18th century, the white man was operating under not a cosmology that said that man came out of the primate. He was operating out of the theology that he learned from the hieroglyphics. The theology that he learned from the hieroglyphics says that there's a divine origin of people, but at that time they were depicting Adam and Eve as if they were Caucasian. And still are, yes.
Trying to interject himself in history.
But when the truth began to be manifest that, man, look at this magnificent creation that's in this Nile Valley that clearly is constructed by some profound founders of
humanity and civilization, clearly these are the gods and goddesses of creation, these African people. Then the whole dynamic that's spoke of in the Genesis, that God made man in his image and after his likeness.
So it's about.
This takes on a new paradigm, because if God makes man in his image and after his likeness, and the first man is the African, then that suggests what about God?
You already know.
That suggests that. Watch your mouth. Watch your idea, black people. You scared to even think it.
Mm-hmm.
You scared. You think it's a sin to even think that
Look.
God is black.
It's okay to say he black. That's right.
Yeah.
That essence is black. That's right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And so when they came across this as a logic in their paradigm, you know what they said? We need a new paradigm. Where's Darwin? We need a new paradigm. We can't say that man comes from God. Now we got to create a new theory, a new cosmology, because we can't let this social order leave. And the social order at that time had been built upon the idea that we were the drawers of water and the hewers of wood, or the hewers of water and the drawers of wood, the drawers of water and the hewers of wood, the cursed children of Ham. And so from their theology, a social value system was constructed, as well now as from a cosmology that says that the African grows out of the primate, and as species evolve, they become more intelligent, and that the Asian evolves out of the African, and as species evolve, they become more intelligent. So the Asian is innately more intelligent than the African, who is at the bottom rung of the social Darwinist evolutionist theory. Is it factual?
Negative.
Is it factual? Is it Darwin's fact of evolution?
Negative.
No, but it's so compounded in our public miseducation worldwide, and it's taught in science, which lends the idea that it's scientific, but it's theoretical science. Theoretical science is pseudo-science. It's not factual, hard science, but it's so compounded, and it's dangerous. Because if you kind of make your mantra the idea that I come from the monkey, when you breathe your last breath of life, if you really think that can have a profound dynamic on where your spirit travels, or does it travel?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know where you were coming today? And you had to kind of guide your spirit to get here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how much more profoundly must you know that you don't come from the monkey if you're going to lift your spirit out your body and rise? But anyway, it's a trick that not only is trying to be placed upon the African, it's a trick being placed upon all of mankind, but it has dynamic proportions on us, because as they talk about in Hidden Colors, the whole world order and the destruction of the Caucasian world order genetically is in our reality as we speak.
That's right.
And there, as you saw the documentary, they're in a negative birth rate.
That's right.
They're in a negative birth rate. And so the projection, we as the African people have the most dominant genetic type, genetic pool and stream. And so it is the African that has to be dismantled and controlled in order to preserve and prolong the white genetic stream. This is the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that become manifest in the scientific analysis of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
That's right.
That
Genetic
manifests
annihilation.
itself in the reiteration of really all of our scholars that have any social value to their analysis in the 20th century. It's quite profound. Why are these seats not filled up? Can I take 5 more minutes? Why are these seats not filled up? Because our people during slavery were reduced in identity. That's right. To a new identity. From 711 to 1492, this is kind of for me, the Moors conquered Europe. period of close to 800 years. When I was in Spanish class, my Spanish teacher said that there are two words for black in Spanish. She said that one word describes an inanimate black phenomena, something that is a black phenomena that is dead, like some black shoes. You say los zapatos negros. That negro is a term in Spanish that's used to describe an inanimate phenomena. Inanimate. That the word negro actually comes from the Greek and Latin word meaning necro. And both in necro means dead, as does inanimate mean dead. But from 711 to 1492, the black people that pulled Europe out of the Dark Ages and built the first universities of Europe, built the first bathhouses of Europe, showed Europeans how to bathe themselves, built aqueducts and water systems in Europe to help save them from all sorts of plague and pestilence that unsanitary living was bringing to them. Those Moors, African Arabs that conquered Spain, southern France, southern Italy, that left their mark so profound that Shakespeare in the 18th century, 100 years after they were booted out, he titles a play in memory of their presence. That play is called what? Othello, thank you. It's called Othello. And in Othello, that's written 100+ years after the Moors are already kicked out of Europe. Shakespeare's a 1600, 17th century writer. The Moors are kicked out by 1492. Infamous date. Where you think the European got the wherewithal and the insight to travel what he thought was a flat earth before? It was the Moors that brought that insight. All right? But back to what I'm trying to get to, I'm sorry, that this term Negro comes from necro. It means dead. In Spanish, it's used to describe an inanimate phenomena, but in Spanish also, my Spanish teacher in high school, she said when you're talking about a living black phenomena, that you don't use the word negro. She said if you're talking about a black dog or a black cat, or really when you're talking about a black human being, in Castilian Spanish, in the Spanish that was spoken in traditional Spain, she said that you use the word for an animate phenomena. Animate means alive. A phenomena that's alive. You talk about a living cat, you say el gato. Anybody know? They teach Spanish out here, Roosevelt? Anybody teach Spanglish? I don't know them have all They say that when you're talking about an animate, a living black phenomena, you use the word moreno. Moreno, you say el gato moreno, el perro moreno. Okay? What is the root of the word moreno?
More.
You see, it's more. It's more. Were the Moors a dead people in Spain? No, they're very much alive. But from 1492, when the European began to spread out over the earth that he thought was flat, and he came to this hemisphere and began to enslave Africans and bring us over shortly after, you think they would make us effective slaves under the name Moor? You think you would be an effective subservient slave if you kept your name and your identity? If they called you Moor, you think you would have been a slave for many generations? No, part of making you an effective slave was changing your mind, changing our minds. And so they wouldn't call us Moors, they would give us the name Negro. This is how we began to be associated with this term Negro, was through slavery. And y'all know that already. The young people don't know that, or they do know that. But here, you got to take it further to them. You got to take it further to them, because what they don't know is that they carry on the spell, and it's a vibration that is carried. That words are more than just a sound. Words carry a vibration.
That's right.
And so every time that we use that word in this Western context, we're bringing this vibration of life to ourselves.
No.
No, we're bringing the vibration of, it means what?
Degradation and death.
Scream death. I mean, on a physical level. I mean, on a social level. I mean, on a psychological level. I hear it all the time at the college. You going to class, nigga? You know I ain't going to class, nigga. Psychological death. Yo, nigga, you do your homework? Yo, nigga, you know I ain't do my homework. Yo, nigga, you going to the library? Yo, nigga, you know I ain't going to the library. I'll meet you at the CCB with some dominoes and some cards. All right? You ever been to a party? You ever been to a party, say, you had a party, getting your groove on. Back in the 60s, you get a groove on back in the 60s, somebody stepped on your shoe, you say, yo, that brother stepped on my shoe. What can you do? You keep on partying, party's cool. You know? Back in the 70s, they say, yo, that black stepped on my shoe. What could you do? Keep on partying. The groove is on. Now we up in the 90s. Up in the 90s, you had a party. Even the 80s, you up at the party. Late 80s, up the 90s, up at the party. You say, yo, that nigga stepped on my shoe. What should you do? You don't know?
You already know it's fighting words.
It's time to leave that party. It's time to leave that party because that N-word is going to attract a whole negative vibration party over. And in the 80s and 90s, it's not over for no fist fight. It's a gunshot. So you come through that area, you heard that, yo, that nigga stepped on my shoe. Your date knew. Let's go. They know. They laugh. They know. Carries a vibration. Carries a vibration. And many of our youth today, when they come to the college and they take my course, and I show where the word is rooted from, you know, it blows their mind because they now carry it to a different level. They say, oh no, we're not talking about being Negroes or niggers. We're talking about being, you know what they call themselves today, and you know the style that they wear today. What's the style that they wear today? It's all under a spell.
That's right.
The vibration, the word is a spell. And so tell me, y'all all right? Movie's coming. This is the last point.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all all right?
That's right.
You know this style that they get. Where did they get the style from? It comes from the jail.
That's right.
Who runs the jail? The great-grandchildren of the slave master run the jail. Took their belts away, made a style, popularized it in hip-hop music, popularized it beyond the jail. Mm-hmm. It's a spell. It's the same Negro spell. What's that style called? It's called what?
Sagging.
Spell it for me.
S.
S.
A.
A.
G.
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 I.
I.
N.
Sagging backwards spells
Niggas.
Sometimes in class they start pulling their pants up. They say, "Oh shit. I didn't know they got me under a spell, Shabazz. Oh man, this is a game." And I walked right into it. Let me get that book you was talking about, that ancient African thing. I want to know about that now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what Hidden Colors is all about. So let's crank that on.
Let's get it.
I hope that's an okay introduction.
Good job, brother. Black Power.
Peoples is that we left evidence of ourselves all over this planet. And that's the problem with European scientists. The deeper they dig, the blacker the planet gets. And what we have been made to see now is this infusion of European, philosophies about what the past was, and no one else on TV is actually giving us evidence of what we were, who we were, but Europeans.
Every person has the right to know their ancestral history. Every person, no matter where they are in the world.
Most of world history, 90% of world history is African history. And even that 10% African is extraordinarily involved in making it what it is.
You won't find a painting, you won't find a statue, you won't find a monument anywhere prior to 1500 that isn't Africoid in some way, shape, or form.
Family, what's going on? It's Google and I use the RANM. As you can see, we still have the Roosevelt Public Library. The family's in there. They still chopping it up, watching the documentary, Hidden Colors Part 2. But nonetheless, for I guess something like this to go down around the way or whatever, I guess I could say it's what's up for those that are here. And I want to give, thanks and honors and respect to that because y'all showed up. So y'all have, nonetheless, you all have the ancestral charge. Watch that. You know what I'm saying? You are charged by the ancestors from this point on to take everything that you are gaining here and pass it on, spread it on from African to African. Black man to black man, black woman to black woman, black child to black child. That's the whole purpose of this. You feel what I'm saying? Knowledge yourself is key to do anything as far as advancement. And not for nothing, information gives you pride, to be proud of who you genuinely are versus what the system has taught us to be. You feel what I'm saying? So, y'all stay tuned. I'm going to get back up in here. Peace, love, and black power. Black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it.
Remember, when they attacked Africa, they did not attack Africa physically. They did not attack Africa educationally. They attacked Africa spiritually. Jomo Kenyatta said when the European first came to Africa, the Africans had the land and the white man had the Bible. White man told him to close his eyes, get on his knees and pray. Jomo said when the black man opened his eyes, the white man had the land and the black man had the Bible. We have bought into a story that we told them. They have twisted it. They got it twisted. We have now bought that story back.
What we call the African and the communities that that person lived in is where the concept of religion comes from. Europe never produced a religion, ever. Asia receives its religion from Africa. All of it. Buddhism, Hinduism, Shinto. As a matter of fact, to be more scholarly, starts with Hinduism. The first Hindu gods to come across were black Africans. And they came across, they were called Sambo, which is now a derogatory term used for blacks, mulattoes, etc. Sambo.
I said Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are merely fragments from the periphery of the African spiritual system that you call voodoo. People said, you can't even go there with that. I can go there with that. And I can take on any theologian that you got, bring them down, and I'll show you. Give me your 12 tribes, give me your 12 disciples, give me your 99 pearls of faith of Islam, and I'll show you those are nothing but sets of qualities and attributes, and I can juxtapose them in a perpendicular line besides the Orishas of the Yoruba, besides the Loas of the Voodoo, besides the Netches of Egypt, and show you we're talking about the same system.
Jesus is a name which did not come into existence in the English form until the 1600s. The letter J was not invented until the 1600s. Let me say this again. The letter J was not invented until the 1600s. So the reality is Jesus is not the name of that person. His name is an Amharic name. Yeshua.
1482, Leonardo da Vinci was commissioned.
All right, what up? I'm good when I used to here again. Okay. So the presentation's still going on. I figured I'd, jump outside for a little bit, holler at y'all for a little bit, see what's going on. Decent turnout. Could have been better, but, for a start is always a start, nonetheless. But if you noticed, when I was when the DVD was on, right, they was talking on the topic of religion, right? Spiritual warfare was the name of the chapter. Unfortunately, it didn't go all the way through. Why? I don't know. I got an idea why, but I ain't gonna say it right now. But at the end of the day, I'm a little upset about it because I feel that was the most important important, out of all the chapters on this DVD, I think it was the most one. Again, you gotta understand what we dealing with, right? Our people, you already know, 99% of our people are Christian. 99% of our people, I'm not even gonna say Christian, they're religious. They're into Islam, they're into Christianity, they're into the Judaism, Hebrew, Israelite culture, and so on and so on and so on and so on. We're stuck in these holy books and this, that, and the third. So with that being said, again, the most important part was pretty much cut out, skipped on, dirty copy, whatever the situation was, it didn't play. And the message, one of the main important messages that our people needed to hear, right, which was, again, spiritual warfare, that message didn't come across based on this presentation. And it's going to give, I guess you could say, a false representation or a false understanding about what spiritual warfare is and how we're engaged in it. Now, you saw, the part where Professor Smalls, where he was talking about the connection with the metal nectar and the reaches of the Yoruba and the lowers of the Voodoo and how they're connected, and that's pretty much where these westernized religious institutions come from, right? They heard that part, but I say it's an unfortunate because based on the fact that our people don't know about our spiritual systems, our ancient spiritual systems coming from the continent, that part pretty much just went right over the head. It went right over the head. They heard the words, they heard what it is, but they don't understand it, so it didn't resonate. But what would have resonated, what they would have understood is when they were talking about the religions that we are engaged in. Again, the Islam, the Christianity, Judaism, Hebrews, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, Western religion, because that's why our people are stuck in. So I think it's an unfortunate that they might have missed out on that at this particular presentation in time. So hopefully we can go, say we come back and we do this again, or those who happen to, get some sort of spark from this, they take it, they go back around their own personal, peers and they blocks or whatever, and they'll, want to reach out and, I guess, get the copy, get another copy, a clean copy, and watch it all the way through. That way they can jumpstart their research as far as religion is concerned. Again, that's a very important topic, man. I know folks don't want to talk about religion all the time because it's so emotionally, involving you. But at the end of the day, just because your emotion is involved and it, quote unquote, may make you feel good at that moment. Oh, watch this. Dope makes you feel good. Heroin will make you feel good. Crack will make you feel good. Alcohol will make you feel good. But what does it do to you? It gives you that slow death like AIDS. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, it was an unfortunate, but at the end of the day, we're going to keep banging, we're going to keep striving and get it in how we get it in. So, stay tuned. Peace.
Warfare were to be used on them. The King Alfred plan was to make sure that they would round up people into concentration camps the way they did with the Japanese, the internment camps, as well as to shut down areas, grids of electricity in the areas where blacks were consolidated. Also to place bombs, most people don't know, to place impediments or areas, or to set up roadblocks, or to cordon off whole communities.
Freeway systems in black areas are designed to really regulate the community. For example, out here in Los Angeles, South Central LA is really surrounded by 4 freeways. It's surrounded by the 10 freeway, the 110, the 405 freeway, and the 105 freeway. During the LA riots in 1992, a lot of people don't know that they actually shut the freeways down, and they were going to start bringing in the National Guard, where they actually did bring in the National Guard. So the black community, they always have freeway systems there because they never know when they need to implement that King Alfred plan, when they need to go in there with military tanks, if there's some racial insurrection, and really suppress the black community. So that's one of the reasons for the freeway systems being directly on top of the black communities around the country.
Every black community in America got expressways that went right through them, destroyed them. You want to find out where the old black communities used to be, go in that city and find the expressways. There's a direct relationship between having the businesses and being in prison. Go find see how many Asians you can find in American prisons.
Then you're going to get another person that says, Well, you know, it's kind of, you know, Master Charlie kind of hard on me, but he all right. Then you get this other person who's like, yo, what's your name? You got something called a MAP? I'm trying to get out of here. These are the 3 people you're going to meet on the plantation. In the 1500s, these are the 3 people you're going to meet. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't care that I'm here, and I'm trying to get the hell out of here. Come now, 2012. Ask a person in any job situation where they go, you're going to be 3 types of people. 1, why do you work for FedEx? What do you mean, why I work for FedEx? I got a job. Why do you work for FedEx? Well, you know, it is hard hours, man. It's long. I was driving this truck. It's crazy, but it's the best I can do right now, and I get a good check. Last person, why do you work at FedEx? I don't work here. I'm really an MC. I'm waiting for my opportunity to record my album. I'm only doing this right now so I can eat. Yo, really? My name is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm trying to get free.
Right, family. Sorry for those glitches. Sorry for those glitches that's beyond my control. But I think you get the basic contention and intention of the film, of the documentary, you know, really to reawaken us out of this spell. You know, there's been a spell that's been cast on us in all aspects of our reality. It's been cast for the past 500 years, but it's been, you know, it's really been in existence for the last 6,000 years. But in our realm and in our existence in this hemisphere, you know, we've been under a 500-year spell. And, you know, the solutions that are spoken of really begin with unity. And I see, as we came tonight, I heard one of the brothers were talking about an organization, a national organization that's trying to spark some unity and address some of our social political needs. You know, I, as an educator, you know, man, I always think that education is the #1 solution. And I really believe that, I think that it's very achievable for us to really begin to turn the tide for our children, but that it requires sacrifice of time, resources, and faith. That I see you, Queen Mother. I see the child care arrangement and the subsidized child care circumstances really being the vehicle by which we could really create homeschools and educate our own, which is what they're talking about. You know, with a child care center, you know, you might be able modestly to bring about $800 a month for a child, modestly. You bring 5 children in at $800 a month, that's $4,000 a month. You can rent you can mortgage your house for that, as well as, you know, set up on the ground floor some child care facilities, and maybe on the upper floors, small 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade classes with this accurate curriculum. And from toddler through high school, you create a whole different type of human being that has mission and purpose. You know, I've been working at Nassau Community College for 20 years, and this is my curriculum, you know. But how much of an impact that you can really have on an adult that has missed this in their education? By the time they get to the community college, sometimes they're not even able to really critically read, you know. We might not be able to watch critically a documentary. I'm seeing that the literacy is being lost in so many levels of our society, and it's purposely. As they spoke about our grandparents when
our grandparents went to education or went to school, they learned phonetics. You know, they begin to bring these flashcards in and all sorts of digital effects and technology that make you have to go out and buy $1,000 box of flashcards, cat, rat, bat, sat. Now somebody can't read something if it's longer than 3 letters. We've lost the ability to blend the sounds of phonetics in terms of reading broader literacy, greater literacy. So we see this all the time. So education, that's where I see it as our greatest opportunities if we strategize and bring unity to our efforts. And yeah, Queen Mother?
I wanted to say, in the presentation,
It's at his limit. Yeah.
In the presentation, Dr. Omar Abdullah Johnson, if you Google search on the internet, look him up, because he is opening a school. And he comes to New York while he travels around to lecture. And what was so beautiful when I heard him speak was, if you are a carpenter, he needs you. If you are a teacher, he needs you. Because his school, and I'd like to think of it as our school, will be a school where everyone's expertise, everyone's offering will be appreciated, needed, and welcome. So, Google Dr. Omar Johnson. And my brother, you said that we are under a spell. And I'd like to say, I'd like to just add a spell that has been, as Willie Lynch, philosophy, that has been put together and structured so that we are programmed to do certain things. Right now in school, I'm in the education to some degree. History is being stated as not being necessary to get an academic high school diploma. Pre-kindergarten school. Why? Because they want our children to get a good education? No. Because they can grab a young mind, harness it at a younger age. And it makes the task for them easier down the road, so that when they're in the 4th grade, definitely we need to build some more prisons. They can do it now in the 3rd with pre-kindergarten. So I think that we, at this time, should analyze every single thing that's happening and that you might consider as being an advancement. Because it could be just something that's been thought of, constructed to take you back. We move up an inch, they move a mile, and because of their advancement, then we have to go back a foot. We're not going anyplace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prima. Yes, and that school that Dr. Johnson is attempting to purchase is, I think it's St. Paul's University, or St. Paul's College in Virginia. And he has been trying to solicit funds to try to purchase it. I think he's raised maybe $250,000, but I think his goal is about $2 million. About $2 million. So, he's talking about purchasing a university to, I guess, train a cadre of teachers that will go out into our communities, and I don't think he's talking about infiltrating the public system, but we're going to have to really create our own system of education for our children, because no one is going to really educate us and tell us who we are and give us the mission that education is supposed to put us on, except to learn it amongst us. And so, as an educator, I'm reminding myself even of the mission that is ahead. And although I don't have a vision as grand as a university, I see on a grassroots level we can do something for our children immediately, and we should address their educational needs from the child care all the way up to the university, most definitely. I don't know what our time is like, but our convener is here, and that is Brother Robinson. I want to give him a chance to say a few words more, and then if you have any questions that I might be able to address, I'll try my best at that time.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry about some of the glitches that we have in the video, but I think we all get the glimpse of the idea of the video and the series. What we are attempting to do is bring awareness and have our people know where they come from. It seems to me, being around this library for the last 7 years, I see people, seems to me that I see people that they don't know where they come from. And they don't know how great their past and the opportunities that the past has given them to be in a place like this. You know, we just recently, I call it 30, 40, 50 years ago, we could not meet in a place like this. We have to go someplace else where people couldn't find us. I know back in the South where I did some of my growing up there in Birmingham, Alabama, where all the stuff was going on there. Dr. King was marching and all the other things that were going on there. My grandfather was a Baptist minister, and he was the president of the NAACP chapter in that area, and we had to go underground. We had to go in the basement of his church to hold our meetings. And so I think that how are we going to come out of this? I was just talking to a gentleman who had to leave a little early. I think how we're going to come out of this, we can't fight them with guns and knives and all these different things that you see on television. We're going to have to fight them with knowledge, and fight them how we can, we know our history and we know who we are and be proud of that, and they will see that we come from kings and queens. So I'm hoping that you learned a little bit tonight, and we had a little bit more attendance than we had last time, and I'm hoping that next Thursday, we will have another round, and hopefully a full room, and we're going to honor Dr. Shabazz next week, and 26. So I'm hoping everybody learns from it, and I hope everyone gets something from it. And we have to educate our children. That's the most important thing. Educate our children. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to say thank you for having courage, for taking the initiative, for going forward, because I don't know of any other library in Nassau that has shown this series or is showing this series. And I know for a fact that even the school in Nassau, okay, they are shying away from these series because it tells truth. And I'll just say this today in school, Uniondale, they had a presentation of the Indian history, the Indian Museum. A whole day was spent on it. The presenters never mentioned what I learned in this presentation of Africans being part of, living with the indigenous people of this country. So thank you, sir, for being so courageous, if I may say, and having the fortitude going against all obstacles, because I know you face some in presenting this program and at this hour, because I believe the library closes at what time?
8 o'clock.
Thank you.
The library is closed at 8 o'clock, and I thank you for that. But it's not all me. We have a wonderful staff here who come up with these different programs and different things, and we want to present it all to the community because we know it's a need. So I thank you for that. And I learned a little bit myself because last session I learned something about the Statue of Liberty that I didn't know. You know, not only the change that the Statue of Liberty was originally a black woman, and I didn't know that. You know, all these years I'm thinking that she holding the torch for liberty, but it was really the original sense of Statue of Liberty was a black woman, and they changed it, and now they had chains on her ankles, and they draped it. Still see the chains there. And I learned that was something I learned, and that's good. Any features change, yes. So so that you see that we all can learn something, right? So I'm gonna give it back to Dr. Shabazz, and he's gonna close it out with any of your questions. And I hope to see you here next Thursday at the same time. And we're gonna show the third. I think they are doing a fourth part 4. Yeah, we're gonna show part 3 next Thursday. So I hope to see all of you here.
It's actually the 26th. We're gonna skip next Thursday and meet again on the 26th. And so I just in closing, you know, there was a recommendation in terms of reading. And that as a people we need to really recommit ourselves to education and mastering all the lessons that they've been trying to hide from us. One of the scholars that were recommending that we do more reading was actually Anthony Browder. And so let me hold up his book, Anthony Browder, Now Valley Contribution to Civilization, a very wonderful book for both older as well as younger readers, you know. I would share this with children from middle school all the way up through college. Anthony Browder, Now Valley Contributions to Civilization. Yes, sir? Yeah, certainly. And then I heard references made to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and it's a very important book that looks at the psychological dynamics of white supremacy and racism, the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Dr. Ivan Van Sertima's books are always important. This is a book that he wrote, edited, that looks at the scholarship of ancient Egypt, the blackness of ancient Egypt, the dynasties of ancient Egypt, the whole cultural dynamics of ancient Egypt. Very important book, Egypt Revisited. This is a book that I really love right now. It's called Black Genesis, the Prehistoric Origins of Ancient Egypt. This is actually written by a white man. And this book actually talks about how the pyramids and most of the structures that were created on the ground were actually aligned to the heavens and the stars. And so when I talk about, you know, this the question about Darwinism and our origin out of the primate, that's not what the ancients said. The ancients said that our ancestors descended from the stars. And this new scholar is bringing forth this dynamic as well. There's a documentary on YouTube entitled the Great Pyramid, Gateway to the Stars, and it talks about the alignment of the pyramids with the stars of Orion's constellation as well as the star Sirius B. All right? That's Black Genesis by Robert Bauval. Another book by Dr. Van Sertima talking about the Moor in Africa, Golden Age of the Moors, Ivan Van Sertima edited. A very important book for children to talk about the ancient Nile Valley legacy is a book by Ra Nefer Amen out of Brooklyn. And this ancient Kemite Egyptian scholar and priest, his works I'm getting into right now because it's really, you know, that system of knowledge and learning in ancient Egypt was a system that was designed to really bring out the divinity out of every human being. And when you really study that culture closely as he does in this novel, even when you study a novel, it can awaken some divine aspects of your own psychocultural awareness. So I recommend this book, Heru, The Resurrection, or anything by Raoul Nefer Amen, I would recommend. And two more books I would recommend. You know, this was a book from the 70s that got it all started for me. Yes, They Came Before Columbus, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. This must be an original print. Yeah, sorry. And Before the Mayflower, that's Lerone Bennett. Before the Mayflower, that's Lerone Bennett. So another book that I recommend. And then last but not least, maybe last and least, I don't know, this is my own book, Black to the Roots, Reggae's Rise, Downpression, and Reascension. You can see me at www.blacktotheroots.net, or you can see me, just see me, you can see me, all right? But this is my book, it's looking at reggae and what happened to reggae. Reggae used to be a black power music, but right now reggae is whitewashed. The same thing happened to hip hop, same thing happened to jazz, same thing happened to R&B. It's a plan, and the book really looks at a Harvard University orchestrated plan that was set forth to destroy black musical traditions. Because really, if our musical traditions were just able to manifest themselves in their full expression, you know, that would be the educational tool that would really enlighten our children. They wouldn't have to go to school. They would just listen to the music and become aware. That's what reggae at one time represented. That's what hip-hop was designing to represent at one time. That's what soul and R&B represented for our communities when there was a message. We put a message in our music. You know, that was the spirit that enlivened us during the 70s. You could step on somebody's shoe at a party and keep on partying. That soul vibe. So, yeah, these are some books I would recommend. And, yeah, man, we can build more afterwards. I give thanks for your time and presence. Yes, brother. Yes, I.
Afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Two things I wanted to say in regards to the books that he's putting out. There's two other weapons that everybody should have in their arsenal. This book right here is called Race First by Tony Martin. He does an extensive breakdown on the working and legacy of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, Provisional President of Africa. This book right here, The Blueprint for Black Power. It says it all. It says it all. Dr. Amos N. Wilson, one of our greatest psychologists that we've ever had, piece of ancestor. But again, those are two weapons that y'all need to have in your arsenal. Study them, live them. Don't just read the words, but literally take the words and really have it resonate. So when you walk out in your house, when you step out this street, you're literally trying to apply that which you read. Many times, we regurgitate information. You know what I mean? We'll go over the same stuff over and over and over again with no real application. It's time to really start applying these things, really and truly. So with that being said, that's all I wanted to throw out. Peace, everybody. Black power.
Yes, sir. Peace of love. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Mari. I'm part of a group called African Unification, and there's several of the members here. We have an organization that is basically throughout the whole country. We have 25 chapters with over 160 members. We come together with our chapters and we create solutions in our communities, and we also have committees. We have the Black Economics Committee, we have the Self-Defense Committee, we have the Knowledge Committee and the Youth Committee. We did hand out a few of the brochures available as of now. We also have a Black Business Directory at AfricanUnification.com. Last but not least, we're also having different months dedicated to different issues that we have. Next month is the Youth Month, so we're creating a conscious music mixtape, so be an alternative to the crap we listen to now on the radios.
I know that's right.
We have a lot of different ideas and things. We just need more people to create the solutions that we have in mind. So if you have Instagram, follow us at African Unification. If you go to the website, AfricanUnification.com, and our email is AfricanUnification@gmail.com.
Peace.
Thanks, Greg. So yes, grateful again for everyone's attendance, and we pray that the Creator and ancestors guide everyone safely home as we have been brought here together until we meet again. Peace and love.
Peace. Black power. Peace. This is Nguvu, now you see RANM. You already know this is RANM RBGz TV. I keeps it G. I'm standing here with my brother. Introduce yourself, homie.
Peace, King. This is Mac from Newark.
My man came all the way from the bricks, from Jersey, to build with the family. You feel what I'm saying? Talk to me, man. What's on your mind based on what you've seen, based on what's in your heart, what you feel when you see your day-to-day, when you out in your hood, when you was driving up around where we at, this is our hood, whatever. What's on your mind, brother? Talk to me.
Well, you know, it's the same issue everywhere we go, you know, like in the presentation we were just watching, the economic warfare, the spiritual warfare that we go through. This is something that's national. It's not something just local. So whether you're in Newark, whether you're in New York, whether you're in California, you see the same things. It's still the same systemized oppression that we go through. But just experiencing this and seeing so many, especially the younger folks like you and I out here trying to really make that conscious change and come together collectively, organizing, talking, and just trying to rebuild our greatness. It always lifts my spirit just to see things like this.
That's real, man. That's real. That's real. Like, boom, even tonight, in tonight's room, right, you saw a lot of elders. Honestly, that's a good thing. That's a good thing because, not for nothing, we got to bridge the gap between the youth and the elders, you know what I mean? So actually, me and my homeboy right there, my man Nell, we go around, we try to generate different conversations between the youngers and the elders, whatever, so they can start talking, because you already know, the elders, they like basically, look at these cats over here, they bugging. The youngins is like, well, who the hell are y'all? And etc. So it's strife all the way through. And we can't really, make anything popping. Granted, we want to see, we all on both sides like, oh, we want black folks to do better, but we won't work with each other. What kind of, what you got, I guess, a little slight remedy do you think that can go for that?
Well, I mean, just like we're doing right now, we just have to build, It's a lot of times it's just what you don't know that keeps you from doing more. So with just the systemized oppression, how we go, that Willie Lynch syndrome, how we go, it was old versus young, light versus dark.
That's right.
And so once we really get together and talk and get to know each other and get to know our history, our shared lineage, and our shared oppression, then it'll put us in a better position to go out and speak to the elders or speak to the young, because we realize the bigger issue, and it's not them, it's the system that puts them in that position.
Lastly, and I'm going to let you rock after that. As you already know, of course, we all seen it. We had little technical issues with the DVD or whatever. And it was on one very important part that, it chipped out on or whatever. That was on the part when they talk about the spiritual warfare. He got right up to the part where he started to get into the breakdown of the character of Jesus Christ, wherein it actually came from the identity of a dude named, what's his name? Caesar Borgia. I'm not sure if you ever heard of the man named Caesar Borgia, but basically that's where the physical representation that we see as the Last Supper, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it came from this white man. Now, let's keep it 100. 90%, if not more, of our folks are still stuck in religion, whether it be Christianity, Judaism, or Hebrew, whatever you want to call it, or Islam. The main three, we're all wrapped up in it, right? If you go to any particular black family home, you're going to find, and this is guaranteed fact, you're going to find a picture of that quote-unquote original Last Supper painting with who? White characters. They don't look like you. You feel what I'm saying? Now, of course, again, we're stuck in these books, and even black folks will tell you, well, Revelations say Jesus looked like us. But what does the image look like? The mind does not resonate words. You can understand the words, but it stores images. Holler at me about that. What you think about that, bro?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, if I could just say, close your eyes and picture Jesus, you're gonna see a white person. So even no matter how many times we say like Jesus is black, the Bible, even the Bible itself says, you know, skin like burnt brass and hair of wool, which is us. But exactly, with all the pictures that you see, that resonates more and deeper than the words that you'll see. So I mean, it's deeper than just.
You know the
saying.
overall result of that though, on a practical level though. Watch what happens when we go outside on a day-to-day basis. When we interact with each other, right? You already know we treat each other like shit. That's easy. That's given. When we see white folk, we come alive. We shaping up. Our shoulders are back, heads up. We smiling all bright. Good afternoon, good morning. Or as we call in the hood, buck dancing. You feel what I'm saying? Where does that come from? Going back to the religious concept. Because your mind is stored on this white image of Christ or whatever you're calling, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're aligning yourself with. Because it's a whitewashed image, now that when you see white folk, you think you're looking at God.
Yeah.
We don't see the signs, but that's what happens on a day-to-day basis, bro. Just look around when you walk around your hood next time you go back home.
Oh, no, absolutely. Even at the job, you know, it's the same thing. You see everywhere. It's definitely that, you know, light is right, white is right, you know, black is ugly, black is evil. You know, the analogy that they always use is just blackmail and white lie.
That's
and
right.
All,
The
and
black
just
cat is the bad luck
exactly,
cat.
all of that. it goes deep into your mind. So, I mean, that's why formats like this, we have to constantly push
Are y'all listening, family? Consistent.
Because racism, white oppression, it never sleeps.
They always grinding. Why the hell
so
we not grinding?
You could wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and turn on the TV. You'll see some form of
white
oppression,
supremacy.
some form of white supremacy.
That's right.
So we have to be constant with, you know, our black supremacy, if you call it.
Tanks, man.
My brother, I appreciate you, man. My man came all the way from the Jersey, man. Get back safe out there. Touch them youths out there. Even hit the elders up, because we got to put this out, man. From New York to Jersey to Cali to all over the damn globe. We out here. So another that, man, like I said, peace and black power to you, man.
I gotta get a photo with
And
him.
bang hard, man.
I ain't know. Yo, you
Peace.
supposed to email.
Yo, what up? So there you have it. Just got back in the crib. Came from the presentation over at the library. Peace and shout out to everybody that came out. Once again, African Unification, big ups and shout outs to y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing, going from hood to hood. Trying to, you know, spark that energy and all that good stuff. So you already know, I ride with y'all, y'all ride with me. That's Black Power. We got work to do. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, regardless of the fact, those that did come out, again, peace and respect to y'all. A lot of folks said that they was coming out. You feel me? A lot of folks said they was coming out. A couple folks actually came in, and a lot of folks left. We got a lot of work to do, man. At the end of the day, based on what's going on, based on our current situation, our current conditioning within this the realms of this society, right? With our cognition and all that good stuff, right? Everything that we're relearning, or I should say really learning, because school ain't teach us shit. Everything that we're really learning right now about ourselves, the whole concept of knowledge of self, etc., 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 it's foreign to African people right now. We gotta keep that in mind. It's foreign. But the key thing that we, as the riders, we as the soldiers, we as the RBG, feel me? We gotta keep in mind. We always gotta keep in mind that regardless of how the masses take it in or may shun it, you still gotta be consistent. Because at the end of the day, right? Though today our coming together for this presentation, it was a positive. Let's keep it 100. It was a positive. We can't let it just be, a month down the line we talking about something. Oh, remember when we saw the video and this, that, and third, and then nothing goes forward from that day. Again, consistent. We have to always be going. Once we get that spark, we gotta go off. We gotta run full. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we gotta get to the running. It's a process. You crawl, you walk, then you run. So we gotta do just those. We gotta at least start crawling. Get something in motion. Then, once the momentum picks up, we'll start walking it. Then we're going to be running full speed ahead like Usain Bolt. You figure, dummy? But at the end of the day, long story short, we got work to do. We have awareness to spread. We got empires to rebuild. It's not going to last. It ain't going to stand tall if, one, we don't know. Two, we don't take pride in that which is. You feel what I'm saying? We'll take pride in the bullshit. We'll take pride in the negative. We'll turn up for this. We'll turn up for that. Turn up for your black ass. How about that? In the meantime, between time, this is your Reverend Google Nayusi. Thank y'all for tuning in to RANM RBGz TV on this last build. Keep it live right here for the next one. You already know I'm come showing everything that I got on my mind, family. But I already know black love is cure for the black nation, so let's get it. Peace, black power. Keep it live.